and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes, facts, boots, and other stuff.
In this week's issue, Murmur.
Welcome into episode 9 of Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I am Zach, and joined by the Poison Ivy to my Harley Quinn,
Mr.
Sweet. Mike. I know.
Lovely. Thank you.
I thought that was a nice one.
Yeah.
Plus, you know, you're the one who could actually pay attention more to get crimes done. I'm the one who's a little off, so it fits.
Okay. It just means I've got a whiteboard.
Yeah. That's so you can plan.
Rob Bill.
Have you watched any of the Harley Quinn animated show they did?
I don't know.
It's actually...
I've heard it's good.
It is.
I'm too old.
It's really funny. That's fun.
They won't let me.
You know, different strokes for different folks. They won't let you?
Yeah, when I watch animated stuff, they send me a letter and they tell me to please stop.
Wait, they still send you a letter? They don't send you an email?
No.
Oh.
They send letters to old
So
folks.
then is there like 2 weeks where you're like, oh, I'm safe?
Yeah.
And then you get that in the mail?
Buddy, I got to watch that cartoon. Ah, shit. Yeah.
Not again.
And the wife brings the mail in.
And you go ahead and delete all the other cartoons you saved off your DVR. Today's episode.
Do you still DVR?
No. I'm sure some people do.
What do you use?
Hulu.
You just have everything
I just
on
watch
Hulu?
it, yeah.
You just watch it. We have YouTube TV, so it's kind of like a DVR.
They do have There's certain things I've used before. Like I know I had Sling for a little bit, which allows you to DVR, but for the most part, I just wait till the next day.
Welcome to DVR Talk.
Hey, did you have a TiVo when
I did
at some point in time?
I had multiple TiVos.
You had multiple TiVos? Yeah. Show off.
I tell you, man, when it was just TiVo, it was like the best.
Oh, I'm sure.
And when DirecTV had TiVo, holy crap, it was good. I loved it.
What we used to do
and then they fought like they were getting divorced, and it screwed everything up.
Did they get divorced?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now TiVo sucks.
Oh, I haven't seen. See, we did in my house. It was grandma had cable, so she would video record stuff on like blank cassettes for us to watch.
Yeah.
And that was the way to go, though.
Dude, I used to record stuff on Betamax.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because
betas.
Back in the day, though, if you didn't catch it then, when are you going to see it again?
No, that's exactly right. If it was like a network TV show.
Oh, yeah.
You had to wait a year for it to come back around.
Or you had to hope that like when they ran reruns, like that was one of the episodes they chose to do.
Yeah, or the local TV station decided, oh, no, it's raining.
Yeah.
Let's interrupt this show.
Yeah. We got rain delay theater of reruns.
We just didn't get it. Like they would just interrupt it, and you just didn't. You didn't know what it was. Yeah.
Oh, that happened with The Office a lot early on. Granted, Hulu was kind of around, but still. Either way,
and this is topical because, well, to me anyway.
Okay.
Because I've been on this run where I'm going and watching old David Letterman stuff.
On
YouTube, and that's what I used to record all the time.
I love old Letterman.
Old Letterman was just the best.
I mean, Letterman. I'll still
Letterman's great.
Watch his news. Like I just love David Letterman.
Yeah, but early Letterman,
yes.
And then when he first went over to CBS, holy crap.
Yes.
What a great show.
See, and it's fun to find stuff like that. Like, I love watching old episodes of, like, I'm trying to think. I've watched the Carol Burnett show some that way. I just love watching old TV in general.
Well, the cool thing about it is on YouTube, some saint somewhere has taken all the Letterman shows and distilled them down to these, like, chunks. So I'm currently watching one of 5 videos that's just nothing but Norm Macdonald on Letterman. Or it'll be every Chris Elliott skit where he played this guy or whatever. It's just the best.
Oh, see, I forgot Chris Elliott was in skits for them.
Oh, yeah. He would do that. He was like the comparison scientist guy.
Yes.
So he'd have the 2 dog foods and he'd go, we're going to test and see which one tastes better. You know, if this new one tastes better or whatever. And you expect him to bring, there was a time when you were naive, you expected him to bring out dogs. Instead, Chris Elliott just scoops down and eats a handful of that one and eats a handful of that one.
See, that's
the best.
Weirdly enough, a family who was always great at sketch comedy because his daughter, Abby, was on SNL then too.
Oh, yeah.
So both of them just, but no, I love going back and watch that. Okay.
Cabin Boy.
Cabin Boy's good.
These pipes are clean.
So today's
take that, Zack Snyder.
Hey, we got to get a dig in every time.
Here's my thing: freaking Letterman and Chris Elliott made a better movie than most of Zack Snyder's stuff.
Are you talking about the clips you watch?
And Cabin Boy is a terrible movie.
Oh, yes.
It's a terrible, stupid movie.
Yes,
but it's still better than Batman versus Superman. Come on, you enjoy it more.
Okay, I enjoy it more. I'll say that.
It's like saying Happy Gilmore's a great movie. It's
not, but I enjoy it.
But it's funny as hell.
Just like there's Billy Madison's one of those. Early Adam Sandler usually does annoy me now, like the older I've gotten, but I will still watch Billy Madison all day long. I don't know why. It's just that movie. It's everybody else in the movie too.
Yeah,
like Steve Buscemi.
It's before they went way overboard.
And now I can't watch and then all the ones in between I haven't been able to watch just because I feel like they're bad. But
you should watch Hubie Halloween.
Yeah, that's not the one I can't. I did watch him in Uncut Gemstones though.
Uncut Gems was good.
It was. Good. Gems, not Gemstones.
Well, it was the original title.
Uncut Gemstones. They're like, we need it to pop more. Just do gems.
Just gems. Oh, you're a genius.
So today, I mentioned last week that we were coming back with a villain. And Mike, I like this guy.
Oh, yeah?
I do, just because I feel like...
And you're a pacifist.
What they...
I mean, shit. This guy must be great.
Okay, he's not great. I'm just saying, I liked Humphrey Dumpler and Humpty Dumpty and what they could do. And I kind of like that with Murmur.
He was just such a... dumped on guy, just
you felt bad for him, but then that's why it was just an interesting character study in a way of somebody you felt bad who was still kind of evil.
Sure.
Murmur is crazy. He's one of those kind of villains, but let's go ahead and get into him a bit. He was created by Jeff Johns, which is a name a lot of people should know.
Geoff Johns?
Geoff Johns. Yeah, no, Jeff Johns, who was basically the Kevin Feige of DC for a while.
Okay.
He stepped down in 2018 himself to work more on, there was other projects he wanted to do, like film and studio wise. He created his own studio and he works with Warner Brothers on other stuff and still does DC stuff, but he's not like the head creative official or whatever. Like
they need him back.
Well, I mean, he was around during some of the bad ones though too.
Oh yeah.
It's not all. He produced the Aquaman movie. He produced, but then he also did Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
So it's very mixed.
Birds of Prey is okay.
He also did a lot of
Aquaman,
Arrow and Flash and work. He's always worked in the film and television side with scripts and things.
Yeah.
What he's mainly known for comic wise though is two things. One, his run on Flash.
Yeah. Which
we're about to start here that people say helped, get the character back to where it was and created a good Flash. Same with...
Made him fast again.
Exactly. Make Flash fast again. And then the same with Green Lantern. While it's extremely convoluted, he introduced a lot of the things that are known about Green Lantern now, and it said that his writing for Green Lantern was absolutely phenomenal. So, I've
just never been a Green Lantern guy.
I know you haven't, but the people who are out there probably love the run that Jeff Johns had. So
got the ring.
I'm doing that. I like Jeff Johns as a comic book writer. There's some things when he's done in film and stuff, not so much, but I at least enjoy Jeff Johns. Also, he created them with Ethan Van Sciver.
Sure.
The two of them together. And the first appearance of Murmur is in Flash Iron Heights, which is kind of like a thicker comic. It's kind of like
it's almost like
I'm not going to call it a graphic. It's not long enough.
Graphic novel-esque.
Yeah, it's a one-off.
Gotcha. Hey, this is you said the Flash. So, are you a little frightened of this Flash movie?
A little would be saying it nicely. I don't know what we're getting at all.
I don't know what we're getting either.
Because at one point in time...
I love that Keaton's in it. That's great.
Yeah.
But why?
At one point in time, I thought we were doing... I guess they're still sticking with Flashpoint. Because Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who played Thomas Wayne, in the newer ones, they were going to have him be Flashpoint Batman, which is where... Are you familiar with the...
I don't know.
The Flashpoint storyline, which I enjoy the story, but I thought they were going to take some of it for the Flash movie, is basically through events that happen, it winds up to where Barry Allen's mom, wasn't killed.
Okay.
So both of his parents are alive.
Right.
But in this world, in Crime Alley, what changed there? Because, it's, butterfly effect. You change one thing.
Sure.
Both Martha and Thomas survive. Bruce is the one who's shot and killed during the robbery. So through the process, it drives Martha crazy. And Martha actually becomes the Joker in this world.
Oh, wow.
and Thomas becomes the Batman, but he's a more ruthless, more do anything I can to wipe out evil. I use guns. I kill people, all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
So
it feels to me like a knee-jerk reaction to the coming Doctor Strange multiverse thing.
That maybe they're trying to do that now.
It feels like that's what they're doing. It feels like we were just like, oh shit, they're doing multiverse. We got to do multiverse. Who can we do multiverse with? Flash runs fast. Maybe he can run into the future real fast.
Well, that's like one of the only ones that they have that multiverse story with, though, too, because it makes sense of.
Yeah.
But it's the same problem. I mean, that might be what Warner Brothers is doing. It was the same problem I felt like they had with the new Space Jam movie. Just so many different properties they try to squeeze in there just to showcase, hey, we have all this stuff.
So did you watch that?
I did just because the first Space Jam isn't good. Like, I went back and watched it.
But
I enjoyed it because I was a kid.
It's whatever.
Yeah, I enjoyed it because I was a kid. So I tried to go into this one. No.
Because Roger Rabbit's great.
Oh, I love Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
But so I wanted to go ahead and watch it just because it's like I watched the first one. Let me see this one.
Sure.
Movie wise, just because I didn't think the first one is great. Like, Jordan's not a good actor.
No.
LeBron's not either. No. So, like, movie wise,
but they're not really supposed to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, they are.
Like, that part is what it is. The only thing
Nobody's
I just didn't
hiring
really
Larry
like,
Bird, to do a bunch of drama stuff with.
That's
Sally
the thing too,
Field.
though, is there weren't really. Like, it was kind of cool in the original one for me of
other people
seeing the other players,
other stars.
Like Barkley, their whole scene where they're like trying to figure out what's wrong with him is one of my favorite in the movie, because like Charles goes to church and he's praying. He's like, I will never see Madonna again. Like, they're jokes that are in there for like kids don't get that.
Right. But and this is just from what I've read and what I've overheard. I did hear a review because we have a podcast here that does reviews. It seems like a terrible concept.
It's not a great concept.
Where they just run it through all the Warner Brothers properties.
There is a scene where they do that, yeah.
And then at some point, the guys from Clockwork Orange, which was rated X, are in the stands watching a basketball game that is set for children.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't forget, they also go through Game of Thrones world.
Yeah.
And Froghorn Leghorn is dressed up as Daenerys riding on a dragon saying winter is coming. It's all animated.
Sure.
Like, it's kind of, but it's just, they just
winter is coming.
Yes, it's pretty much like that. But they just try to squeeze as much out of their other properties and
get out of here, boy, you bother me.
They do it with DC.
Yeah.
Like, to run into Superman and stuff like that. Yeah. They do it through, there's one like, oh, Harry Potter world. I wonder what I'm going to be. And LeBron's like, Hufflepuff. I know it. Like, they're just trying to showcase.
It's so dumb, though. It's just a big Warner Brothers commercial.
It is. Well,
it's like an HBO Max commercial.
It's the same way to me. I called it when I saw the trailers for it, and I said that they're Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Space Jam. The difference is Ready Player One, because the movie's good. The book is a lot better.
The book
in my
is
opinion.
excellent. Yeah.
I love the book.
Yeah.
But it fits for all of that in the story.
Sure. And it goes across tons of IP.
Yes.
Just like Roger Rabbit or anything else.
It's not just all Warner
IP
Brothers.
Dependent.
No.
It didn't have to be the Millennial Falcon that shows up, or whatever.
But Warner Brothers did kind of take some liberties when they made that movie too, though. Because remember, the Iron Giant's not in it.
I know.
Like, there's other things.
Well, there wasn't a Millennium Falcon in the movie, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I think it was replaced by the Iron Giant, honestly.
Really? That could have been.
I think that's what it was.
But yeah, like, there's things that weren't mentioned that, like, the way they get keys and stuff is different, but that's fine. I understand.
Sure.
For a movie, you have to make it shorter. But it just seemed a lot of times like it was them, Warner Brothers, just trying to get as much in. Now that we've complained about Warner Brothers enough.
Murmur.
All right. So we talked. I was telling you about how it was created back in October of 2001 by Jeff Johns and Ethan Van Sciver. So Murmur.
Of the Long Island Van Scrivers.
Yes.
Sure.
Murmur starts off as Dr. Michael Christian Amar. So Dr. Amar, he's a renowned surgeon.
Okay.
Dr. Amar also, though, unfortunately, is schizophrenic.
Okay. Dr. Death kind of thing.
But he does not take medicine for and does not treat his mental disorder.
Why would
he? Because of not treating it, he starts to hear voices.
Sure.
Which start to drive him crazy. Mm-hmm. And he is so desperate to quiet the voices that he goes on like a killing spree.
Okay.
And with all of his victims, what he does is he cuts their tongues out to try to stop all the noise he hears.
Right. I get you.
Now, mainly he's doing this all with knives. It's not really said, but you just have to assume that they use since he was a surgeon and he's so good with scalpels and stuff like that, that he's into knife play.
Okay.
So that's just comic book logic.
Yeah.
So he's really good with knives, and that's what he's using to kill people. He's eventually caught by law enforcement.
Okay.
Shot like 3 or 4 times, but
and
still
Barry
alive.
Allen, it says.
Well, and it leads to his court case.
Okay.
And while he's there, Barry Allen is the crime scene investigator. So he helps. That's what Barry Allen's job is now, working with the police.
Yeah.
So that's how Flash knows things that are going on, because he kind of works with the police.
I got you.
We talked about that last episode.
It is an ongoing thing where I don't understand how some of these guys know how crimes are being committed.
But I assume that Barry just listens to his radio. And,
Barry gets a beep.
But so he's there in court, and
you feel like Barry Allen has a beeper, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah, he's got a beeper.
He does,
okay.
Or like a 2-way.
I don't need to know about his personal life.
Well, I mean, on his way, yeah. So Barry, Barry, while on the stand, says that, we have 50 murders that fit this.
Wow.
With the DNA, though, we can for sure tie him to 12.
Well, I'm just thinking anybody who's cutting tongues out, that's probably the guy.
Yeah. So they're like, they couldn't really.
What are the chances in Metropolis City or wherever the hell these guys are?
I think they're in Keystone City or Starling City, one of the two.
It made a difference. So what are the chances there's 2 guys going around cutting tongues out?
Probably not
it's
that
not
many,
good.
But again, if you live in a world, like if we took Gotham,
sure,
like it were a real place that we lived in, and if somebody was like, oh, somebody's out cutting tongues, you wouldn't be like, it's got to be that one guy cutting tongues. You could probably be like,
well, I guess it could
5
be
guys
30
who would
guys.
cut tongues.
Yeah, cut tongues, yeah.
So, but because like Barry Allen is providing this evidence, and Dr. Amar, however you want to say it, is constantly like, he can't stop himself from talking during court. So he's like, I had to shut up the voices.
It's a little ironic.
So he's like incriminating himself because he can't. It's a nervous. I think his lawyer calls it, you can't take this nervous tick as his confessions, is what he says in court.
Sure, I can.
But so he just he's like, I had to make the voices stop.
Hey, can I ask you a Space Jam question in the middle of this?
No, that's totally fine.
Speedy Gonzalez was in it?
Yes.
Isn't that weird to you at this point?
I've always felt that Speedy could be considered culturally offensive.
Yeah. Well, I know there was no Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah, but Speedy was still in it.
He's a rapist or whatever.
Yeah, but Speedy's was still
okay.
In it. I would have, I mean, you
That's
could have
weird,
taken,
right?
It is. You could have taken Speedy out. He didn't add anything to the movie.
You can't turn on Cartoon Network and see a Speedy Gonzalez cartoon anymore.
No, but it was fine for the movie.
Okay. All right. So Murmur.
So they imprison him at Iron Heights.
Iron Heights, yeah.
While the authorities are finding a way to carry out his death sentence.
Okay.
Murmur is contacted while he's in jail by Blacksmith. I don't know a lot about her story, her origin. I do know that she is basically the leader of a massive criminal black market called the Network.
Yeah. I don't know who she is either, but all I can see is like pleather.
Yes,
she's wearing real tight pleather.
Yes, she does.
Sure.
But she smuggles in materials necessary to create what is called the frenzy virus, what Murmur is able to make. They call it a frenzy virus. I'm giving them right now.
Why is the guy making a virus? He's a surgeon, right? It's a weird leap.
It is, but the virus, basically, if you inhale it, it turns your lungs into a mud-like consistency.
Sure.
So you suffocate on your own body.
Well, that explains it all.
But it quiets you down. Like that's it. It affects
Yeah.
So that's how they tie it to him.
I'm just saying, while somebody's lungs are being turned to mud, I bet they're not real quiet.
No,
they can't be.
Well, you can't. Like it shows the cops
right?
just like throwing up and falling over and stuff. But so he releases this virus throughout the prison.
Mm-hmm. What keeps him from getting it?
We will explain that here in a little bit.
Oh, good. Okay, cool.
Because there is something that does. He releases the virus in the prison, causing dozens of deaths and a mass breakout in the prison system there.
Yeah, everybody's lungs all over the floor.
Through everything, Flash does identify that he has to be the origin of the virus. And so he goes back to the prison to hunt down Murmur there and tells him, damn it, tell me how I fix this, how I can get rid of this
Murmur.
virus. And he rips his mask off. Because as you can see at the top, I showed it.
Yeah.
This is actually the scene of him coming back to talk to Murmur, like to get him and tell him how to cure the virus. Murmur has a mask that he wears. It's kind of just like
kind of reminds me of Sandman almost.
a little bit, but it's like just like a paper mask.
Yeah.
It's just like with one tie around. It only covers the front.
It's always
not a full,
kind of a jack-o'-lantern look.
a little bit.
Yeah.
So Flash tells him, talk to me. Tell me what you're doing.
How long does it take to tie all that crap around your legs and arms?
I don't know. It takes a while.
Weird.
And he flips his mask off of him as he's like intimidating him to talk.
Right.
And he realizes that Murmur has cut out his own tongue and shown his own mouth
What
shut
a guy.
because he's not going to implement himself ever again.
Okay.
So
Sure.
that's his theory behind that. And so even without Murmur's help, they take a blood sample from him because they're trying to figure out why is he not affected if
Right.
he's the one releasing all
Right.
this. Well, it turns out that he has some sort of special thing about his blood to where he is immune to a lot of stuff.
Midichlorians.
There you go. He is immune to so much. That's why he's not affected by it.
Sure.
And they in turn use his blood to help make a
Vaccine.
vaccine. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
For the virus that has been released.
Mm-hmm.
So they have that. They're able to save these people, but in the ensuing chaos, Murmur is able to escape jail, and he's out on the open.
Sure.
That is our first intro into Murmur. And to me, I'm like, all right, I read the first one. I'm thinking there's nothing but cool stuff that can come from this. I like the setup.
Seems cool. Yeah.
So he joins the new Rogues, basically, is black after he escapes.
This is Blacksmith or whatever her name is. Yeah.
Blacksmith tries to bring him in and create the new Rogues or the new
Gotcha.
Rogues Gallery.
Gotcha.
Other people with Flash might remember the old Rogues Galleries, people like Captain Cold, Captain Boomerang. What's the guy with the fire
Captain.
starter?
Captain D's.
They had Gorilla Grodd, I think, was a part of the Rogues at one point in time.
Gorilla Grodd.
So it's just, basically Jeff Johns wanted to create a new Rogues Gallery for new readers.
Right, sure.
Which makes sense. Because,
Yeah, it makes total sense. I got it.
Yeah.
Everybody loves bad guys.
So Murmur joins this new team as they're attempting to take over like Central and Keystone City. Central, not Starling City, Central City is where the Flash takes place. But there's one point where Mirror Master is one of the people on the team, and he coats his mirror in the frenzy virus to help him out.
Yeah.
And he uses it, and it kind of temporarily incapacitates Flash for a moment. But for the most part, he's really just a background character in the new Rogues. Like, you see him there, and he can't talk, obviously. There's just mumbles every now and then, and he just tries to kill Flash with the others. But there's no, anything that he's responsible for besides this part. Which is part of the reason that it's just unsettling is when you see, or not unsettling, but it's upsetting when you see somebody, a character you like so much, and then you feel like they're just not utilized after that.
Yeah, sure. Right.
Because there's a whole 4-year span of where he makes appearances. Nothing.
Like, let's say the Joker in
Yeah,
Justice Squad.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that. It's like you see, it's like if
Justice League. Justice Squad. What is it? Justice
Suicide
League.
Squad?
Justice League.
Justice League is what yeah. If it were Suicide Squad, though, it's like if you had Harley Quinn in the Suicide Squad and it wasn't played by Margot Robbie, it was just some woman that they dressed up to look like her.
Yeah, she's back
and
there
she was
making
just always
sandwiches
in the
or something
frame
all the time. Right.
She never
Sure.
talks. Like,
Right.
that's what he turns into. In 2005, though, in an interesting turn,
He looks like Tim Burton.
he does. I included that to show you how it stitches lips together. 4 years later, though, in 2005, DC decides to make a Man-Bat. Are you familiar with Man-Bat?
I am familiar with Man-Bat.
5-issue Man-Bat series. Now, we are going to focus on how Murmur fits into this. But basically, just to make it simple, Kurt, I can't remember his last name. The guy who's Man-Bat is still Man-Bat.
Okay.
But he's being framed in a way of attacking and killing people.
Right.
And so also they're using it to frame Batman. That like Batman can't hunt down Man-Bat, even though it's not Man-Bat doing it too. Like they're trying to take out both Man-Bat and Batman.
Sure.
And it's like this battle between Black Skull and Hush.
My favorite episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Hush?
Hush.
Do you know
that?
Hush in the...
Do you remember that one?
I don't... Which one is that?
Where the 3 guys, the creepy guys come in and they silence everybody. Everybody has to be quiet the entire.
Yes,
Yeah, it's cool.
That's such a good show.
But I don't know anything about Hush as a villain.
There's a lot to Hush.
We'll get to Hush. He's quiet.
No.
Makes people be quiet.
No.
Oh, okay.
He's Thomas Wayne's friend. There's difference. It's the Riddler. I'm not Thomas Wayne. Bruce Wayne's friend. His name's Thomas. Whatever. I don't remember. There's
Thomas
another
Hush.
kid. There's a storyline where he uses plastic surgery to make himself look like Bruce Wayne and stuff.
Oh, wow.
We'll get to Hush eventually. It's going to be a longer dive because from when that graphic novel came out, he's been a part of stuff since then. Hush has stayed in the Batman kind of pantheon. Yeah. But right now, Murmur's part of this is he is a pawn by Hush through this whole story. But Murmur is living in the Keystone City sewers where he's approached by Hush. One thing you need to know about Hush, though, too, is he is a former doctor himself. So the reason that is important is
Keystone City sewers.
He basically tells Murmur, hey, you help me out, I can fix your lips that are now, if you sewn together, they're completely infected.
Right.
And I can replace your tongue too. Like, you don't have to live like this anymore. And so he uses that to basically...
Is that a thing? Can you replace someone's tongue?
I don't know. I mean, that's what's brought forth. That's what Hush is promising to him in this.
That seems weird, right?
It does.
Like, because you'd have to put another tongue in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you get another tongue?
I guess it's
somebody that just recently died?
I guess.
Ugh. I swear. I had a fly in my drink the other day, and it made its way into my mouth because I didn't know it was there.
Yeah.
And I can't stop thinking about it. What if somebody else's tongue was in there? That's just good God.
Like, you'd swallow the tongue?
Well, I'm just saying, if you cut off your tongue and then they had to put a dead guy's tongue in there to replace your tongue.
Yeah. Do you think that tongues taste things different?
I do. I think it's just like the eyeballs. You know, you get somebody else's eyeballs, you're going to see everything they've ever done.
Oh, you're going to taste everything.
Twilight Zone told me that, so who am I not to believe it?
Oh, man.
Just all of a sudden you'd start liking other things.
Or you're just sitting there just like, tastes like Brussels sprouts randomly. What the hell? That could be funny. I guess they find it from, I don't know who else.
It'd have to be a cadaver, right? And it'd have to be really soon, I would think.
Or they just, knowing these people, they just kill somebody and steal that person's tongue. Yeah. It's still a dead person's tongue.
But I'm just saying, I think it would have to be really soon after that person dies. Oh, yeah.
No, for sure. I would think so. I would think
that's
that the tissue
rush kind of thing,
would die kind of quickly, especially when it's small. Like, I don't know.
God, I'm not a doctor. So many little tiny veins and stuff in there, right?
Do you know that would, like, if he really did that to attach it, that would take a long time, I would feel like.
Oh, yeah.
Because you'd probably have to, like, burn it to, I don't know.
I don't like any of this.
Well, that's what he's offering him, though.
Okay.
So, Hush brings Murmur to Gotham to help, promising to...
All the way from Keystone City Sewer.
Yep. To fix his mutilated mouth in exchange to help him take down Black Mask. I said Black Skull. I meant Black Mask.
Okay. All right. That's all right.
Murmur agrees, and he ends up murdering one of Black Mask's prostitute, framing the man back for the crime. Hush has this idea.
Wait. Murders one of Black Mask's prostitutes. Is multiple prostitutes.
Black Mask is like the crime boss of the city.
Okay.
So, like, he has...
So he probably has pimps that work for him who has prostitutes.
In the scene, it's another guy who drops off the woman at a cemetery.
I got you. Okay. Crime boss, I understand. When you just gloss across it and say Black Mask prostitutes, I'm like, I don't understand what's going on.
He's a crime boss. So he sent... Like, somebody requested one of his ladies, and he sent one of his, pimps to go drop her off at a cemetery, which is weird to begin with.
Sure.
But
probably not.
Basically, they frame Man-Bat for killing her because Hush gives Murmur like this claw that slides over his hand.
Oh, wow.
That has like back claws so they can do the scratch. So like they're killing her.
To make it look like he's done this thing. Okay, gotcha.
So basically Murmur is killing these people or killed this prostitute to make it look like Man-Bat.
Yeah.
Also, they hunt down Black Mask's second in command, who's a police officer named David. And
fancy ass name.
Well, Murmur's just in the back seat. Here's how they do it, which is actually...
Hello, I'm Black Mask's second in command.
David.
Murmur,
since he can't talk, is wearing a lapel mic.
Wait, what?
He's wearing a lapel mic, and Hush is back wherever he's at, and he can see what's going on, and he talks for Murmur.
That's not what lapel mics do.
I know.
Okay.
I know. Lapel mic, he should only be able to hear it.
It should only be able to go in.
but apparently it can project out too.
So it's okay.
Maybe they have a receiver.
Tiny Mr. Microphone.
He mentions the lapel mic. That's it.
Good looking.
He didn't talk about the receiver somewhere there too. But so he talks for Murmur.
All right. But does he just open his infected mouth or
no? He's like his mouth's sewn shut. It's still sewn shut. That's all he does is mumble.
He mumbles, but then you're hearing hello.
Well, he doesn't even move his Murmur's just sitting there and just lets Hush do all the talking.
Oh, okay. All right.
But basically,
because that's not fooling anybody.
No.
Okay.
So they attempt to kill him,
so
but it fails.
Prostitute.
Then Murmur and Hush follow David to Black Mask hideout.
Okay.
Where they confront Black Mask.
Black Mask HQ.
In the ensuing chaos, Murmur is poisoned and left for dead by Hush. Because he never was going to save him at all. He just wanted to use him. Hey, it's a guy who's never going to talk.
You can't trust a guy named Hush.
No. And he's wrapped up in bandages too.
Sure.
Hush is.
Wait, he's a mummy?
Yeah. Here, I'll find a picture of Hush. But so basically,
I'm really starting to like this Hush guy.
Dude, I like
He's got
Hush.
so many layers.
Literally, you have to peel him off. But we don't have to worry about him dying because obviously he's immune, but he's sick and he eventually gets better and he appears in comics still, but just back to one of the background guys in the Rogues Gallery.
Right. I like that you used he overcomes the poison because of his magic blood.
It is. It's magic blood.
Magic blood.
So,
magic blood.
Murmur's out doing other murmury stuff. I'm here trying to find you
Number
a picture.
Number 5.
There's
Wisconsin.
Hush.
Magic blood.
There's,
wow. I kind of like that guy.
Hush is a really, we'll have to dive into Hush. That's going to be a longer one, but Hush is a really fun read.
Cool.
So, also, I feel like I needed to mention it since we brought up Jeff Johns and like Arrow and everything. Murmur does appear in the Arrow TV show.
Really?
And it is another case of him sewing his mouth shut so he can't talk.
This guy's just got like one go-to.
But his story here is that he was wrongly convicted by cops and beaten and then thrown in prison.
Social commentary.
Yeah, and he sews his mouth, though, as a way of, meditation. Like, he finds, him not talking. They completely changed the story. They watered down the character. And he's not great in the TV show because Arrow took a jump. I don't think it was ever great, but it was good and watchable. And then it took a jump, and I couldn't pay attention to it anymore.
Every time I get stressed, I sew my mouth together.
Do you?
Yeah.
But, you have a character here. It was one of those that I find that you can have just a deranged, but they don't do it.
Yeah. You know the worst part about stressing and sewing your mouth together? If you're married,
your
wife's always knocking that needle out of you never know where you're going to step on a needle.
Oh, because she just knocks
needles
it out.
everywhere, yeah.
See, mine just sews mine for me.
Yeah.
She's like, it'll be easier if you let me do it.
Sure, that's nice.
And then I mumble and she never responds.
Do you ever get used to it?
No.
Yeah, it hurts.
It does. But it quiets the voices.
No, it doesn't really, though. That's the thing. I mean, I'd understand if they put a pipe through their brain or whatever, but not sewing their mouth together.
Yeah, no. So there we go.
He's a cool-looking character,
He does. The one thing you brought it up earlier, and I guess we should describe how he looks real quick. He's covered head to toe in leather, but it's kind of like mental, straitjacket-esque with the amount of buckles and stuff on it.
I like how his eyes go 2 different ways.
I don't know what that was about in that picture.
That.
I know,
but they go different ways.
Is he not just a creepy looking dude?
Yeah.
And even the mask he has, that's something they can make look all of it just look.
For real, he looks like Tim Burton with googly eyes and a sewn mouth shut.
I'm glad you brought up Tim Burton. He's a cool version of Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have scissors. Just the outfit he looks, his hair is kind of like
very
that.
Much so. Yeah.
He's very Edward Scissorhands-esque, except he's schizophrenic.
He put these big black stripes over his face, and that's very Burton-esque.
Yes, because I think it's from the prison bars and stuff that they did. But
yeah. I get that.
I like the character. I just feel like they haven't done a lot with it.
I love a good crazy guy. A good crazy person. That's why Harley Quinn's so attractive. Well, I mean, she's pretty also, but I'm saying she's attractive because she just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. And that's part of what I like about this villain too, is sometimes it's good to find the guys who have nothing to lose just because it's not one of those where I'll just do this then to defeat him.
Right.
So I just think that also it's in a Flash book where you don't, at least me, I don't think of Flash having that many.
No, you really don't, do you?
Dark characters like that, which is why I find it unique too, is you can use it in Flash. He fits more, like he feels like he fit perfectly with that Batman story.
Right.
Because he fits in like a Batman world, not a Flash world.
Very much like a Batman villain.
Yes, which is why it's another thing that excited me is that gives Flash a little bit more of a sinister villain kind of.
Yeah.
Which I like. So,
yeah, no, that's cool.
So there you go. That's
great, man.
Murmur.
As always.
Episode 9. Don't forget, if you're looking for us, you can find us on Instagram at BroFoHero, or feel free to email us with any questions you might have, comments you'd like to make of how I got something wrong.
No, I was going to say, as always, I want to thank you for your in-depth research you do on these things, because it's really fantastic.
I do appreciate it very much.
Yeah, you do a great job.
And I enjoy doing it because a lot of times too, like obviously I'll read through the different articles, Wikipedia and stuff like that they have set up. But you'd be amazed at how many times that I just read through the series and I find stuff that's not listed.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy that you read all these comics.
Oh yeah, and so Flash, Iron Heights.
Speaking of nuts, we're brought to you again this week by Testacuzzi for the nuts.
That's true.
Yeah.
In this case,
you ever wanted to bubble your balls?
Or it could be for crazy people in Arkham Asylum. Those kind of nuts, I guess.
Sure.
Everybody loves a Testacuzzi.
Everybody loves a Testacuzzi.
It's like log. Everybody loves log.
Well, it rolls downstairs, a loner in pairs, rolls over your neighbor's dog. You know the people love this. That's on your back and great for a snack. It's log.
Yeah,
that whole thing is emblazoned in my brain.
My grandmother, I just always thought this was funny because it's one of those things of where, like, I have a older cousin who's about 10 years older than me. And so, like, I was kind of young the first time Ren and Stimpy went through, but I would still watch it some.
Sure.
But obviously, like, he was a teenager at the time, so he watched it a lot. And my grandma watched one episode, and it had to do with something with Ren peeing on an electric fence.
Hey, I was just going to bring that. Don't whiz on the electric fence.
That's the point. She complained. I'm not watching. They were whizzing on an electric fence. Was her argument all the time. And not even.
That's the one where Ren comes in and he threatens. I mean, he says he's going to kill Stimpy. I mean, literally, I'm going to kill you. I mean, it's just flat out, I'm going to murder you because of the things you've done.
Really?
Yeah, it's a rough episode when you really break it down.
A lot of those episodes are kind of rough, though.
What's his name's Nuts?
Oh, yes. I've read about him.
Speaking of Nuts, check out the Testacuzzi. Yeah, he's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But it's a great show.
Yeah, but so there you go. I just always remember saying, you can't watch. They were whizzing on electric fences.
Whiz on the electric fence.
I just like the fact that we got you to sing. All right. That is it for today. Episode 9, Bros, Foes, and Heroes.
Another good one.
As always, we appreciate you taking some time out to listen and follow us. And until next time, everybody, make sure and stay safe out there.
Hey, what's the next one? Villain? Good guy?
I don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
Surprise. We're going to surprise you for 10.
Cool.
Maybe it'll be Hush. Michael wants me to do Hush. I can come back. I'm still sitting on the inferior 5.
I like the sound of that.
I got a lot of stuff we can still throw out there. So we'll see.
Cool. All right, cool. Well, thanks for joining us.
As always.
Got it, gun!
Bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.